Okay, so hello again, I'm Mikey. So, having listened to what you've said in the first session, we've cobbled together a game show for you, and we've called it Art by Committee. And the challenge here is to, by committee, create a piece of public art in the next 45 minutes. The reason why I wanted to do this, because I kind of believe that it is possible to make a piece of art by committee. Contrary to what Joe said, we'll see what we come up with in the next 45 minutes. I kind of think it's going to be possible. But this is the scenario. You have got a blank check.
From Tesco.
From Tesco's. And you have to decide how to actually spend this money. And I think the committees are already going.
Slide in. And this is it. You've got 5 minutes to come up with a location for all your committee. This is where we do it. We were talking about trust earlier on. How do you do this in a mad, hectic manner?
Okay, we've already got some images coming through, some ideas. I'm starting the time. You've got 40 minutes left. Right, okay, that's the location round over. I mean, we've been looking at the things on the board. Obviously, you need to have some concept of what it's going to be first. But I'm just going to go around and just get some ideas. It doesn't have to be one idea necessarily of some of the locations that people have got. Does anyone want to be a spokesman for this group? For the red group? Okay, everyone, fingers are pointing at you for some reason.
Thank you very much. Yes, it's going to be seeds, and they're going to go in the ground, which people will desire. So it's symbolic, but it's everywhere and nowhere.
Okay, so it's kind of like ambient.
Yeah.
Sort of in the rural space, in
any piece of soil space.
Okay, so like a kind of sort of, is it going to be like a branded seed or something like that? What?
No.
Just literally a scattering of seeds of every kind or a particular kind of seed?
I think the seeds would be free, but food.
Food
so
seeds.
It's an idea that
right.
It would feed the world within a few weeks.
Okay. Okay, so it's almost like a kind of seed bomb idea. Okay. Let's go over to the blue group.
There you go.
We've got a spokesman already. Thanks, Kate.
Green.
The green group.
Apparently we're green.
Okay, yeah, all right. The green group.
Well, I think we went along the lines of something in your pocket.
Something in your pocket. So it's more small scale.
More small scale,
yeah.
Kind of everywhere and moving all
Okay,
the
so
time.
in a way it's interesting because there's already a similarity here. It's a kind of ambient thing. It's not in a particular location. It's everywhere and nowhere.
It's kind of very anti-Tesco, isn't it?
Yeah, okay.
And there was also a bit of a plug for East Dorset, but that came from an East Dorset.
Okay, what was the plug? What was the plug for East Dorset? Let's be shameless.
Shamelessly,
yeah.
Just doing her job, she says.
Okay, all right. Any other things? Anything that's missed out that's been important in this group?
Have I missed anything? Oh, yeah, airwaves.
Airwaves, okay. So once again, it's interesting. It's an ambient thing. Let's quickly move on because we are running out of time. We've got 31 minutes left.
Yeah, this group struggled a lot with this. We were unsure about making something monumental. We thought we'd like to do something which possibly moved around so that people didn't have to go to their local Tesco's, but that some of the ethos of Tesco's moved to different communities. It might bring some sort of products. It might help people move their own material around. It might take place as a sort of piece of transport in some way, or a whole suite of transport type arrangements.
Okay, maybe a transport-based thing, maybe a little bit of influence from Michael Pinsky.
Oh my God, he's on the table.
He's right down this corner, so probably no one can hear what he's saying. It's probably a good thing. We've got, Joel, can we just quickly see this first idea, which is kind of, I guess, from the sort of seed bomb idea, the kind of ballooning the seeds around thing, going some flower ballooning, whatever that is. We're still working. You've got 30 seconds left. Can we have the music? It's time for the next section. What's the next section, Kate?
Well, it's really just expanding on what you're doing. You've got a basic location now.
Yeah.
What constraints there are? A lot of you have said, we don't want to take money from Tesco, so you're subverting the idea in a slight way. So this is it. You've got to put this public thing out there while subverting Tesco's and refine your idea a little bit.
Okay, so the next, refine the idea, constraints is the next chapter. Is that right?
And with a bit of community input, I think.
Community.
Yes.
Community is the next section. So think about the community. How's this going to actually react and respond with the community? So that's your next challenge for the next 5 minutes. We'll come back to you in 5 minutes' time. How are you going to sell this idea to the community? You've got 5 minutes. Okay, so our slant this time is community. How are we going to get the community involved?
Okay, our ideas developed considerably, in fact, massively from where we were before.
Okay,
good. We were really struggling, frankly. We were useless to start with, but now we're really cohesive as a group, and we're definitely going to be the winners here today. What we're going to do now is we're proposing that we produce this giant airship thing. I bet you hadn't thought of that.
A Zeppelin.
And the airship is it's a bit like those, except it's more like a sort of Zeppelin. We've actually got a visual aid here. Can we have the visual aid?
Visual aid?
Visual aid. Can everybody see that?
Can the camera zoom in on that?
It doesn't.
It's
going to be scanned. It's going to be scanned and up on the screen. Okay.
There we go.
Right. So the airship drifts around, and the communities possibly embellish this airship. They possibly build the thing in massive hangars. But equally, what they're able to do is they're able to summon it up, because obviously a single person couldn't summon it up because it would be too enormous a project for everyone to summon up. So whole communities can come together and summon it up. It moves people around, but also it can move stuff around for the people.
Right.
And it's
in an environmentally friendly way.
In a totally environmental way. And it lifts us above, it's going to take place in Dorset, it lifts us above the rather hilly Dorset landscape, so you get a decent view of the sea.
So, community.
Well, the community make this thing.
Yeah.
And the key to our success is the postal service.
Right.
Which is, under serious threat at the moment.
Okay.
So there is a kind of social up to this.
Yeah.
In terms of the objects move around, and the postal service and the postman move it around.
What are the
lucky
objects?
dip trolleys.
We don't know yet. Okay.
That's kind of irrelevant at the moment.
Yeah.
More the means of production and distribution are what we're focusing on.
Okay, so you've got a distribution network. It's going to be a postal thing, back to the kind of like 70s
It's
era.
still a kind of in your pocket thing, but each community makes the in your pocket.
Okay, so it's going to be like a distributed network of things that people post to each other. Is this in Dorset?
Yes.
Okay. Certainly do. Let's move on to the next group. Community.
Hugely relieved that our transport dilemma has been solved.
Okay, so we're working together here.
How the heck we were going to move these marrows around the county.
So you were looking at some sort of marrow barrow, were you?
Obviously not.
Obviously
that
not,
was
no.
our problem.
No.
But now you solved it. The main thing was making sure that the seed was going to be right on enough. So the idea of GM was squashed. And it's going to be right on seed. Probably put on to people rather than let them choose. So that flocks of birds were mentioned about delivering.
How's the community going to feel about this if they get literally parachuted?
When they see the marrow plant growing in their garden, even though they hadn't planted it, they're going to be delighted. Because of the widespread press coverage, they're going to immediately know what to do with it, how to harvest it, and how to upload the shape that they are growing onto the internet for others to desire.
Okay. Anything else? It's still coming together. We're running out of time. This is a scan of the idea. This is going back to it's the blue team, isn't it? Yes, this is the initial sketch of the airship. Is that a cloud down below, or is that like a more abstract airship? Oh, is that the marrow being dropped? It looks like all the teams are merging together. One enormous kind of like conglomerate of committees,